This is the weather forecast video for Saturday, May the 26th, 2012. Taking a look at the satellite image from last evening, you can see a complex of showers and thunderstorms over the plain states moving into Iowa at this point, with some other thunderstorms over the northeast and a subtropical storm off the Carolina coast. And you can see the tropical storm warnings there with Burl off the Carolina coast. A couple of warnings and some watches expiring at the time. Wind over the west and over Montana. Wintry weather. QPF chart precipitation over the next 5 days through Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock shows quite a bit of rain is possible over the state, upwards from about a half an inch to maybe upwards of 2.5 inches, dependent on where thunderstorms train over the same areas. Severe weather outlook for today and tonight. A slight risk of severe weather extends from Minnesota, the Dakotas, to the northwestern about third of Iowa down into the plains. And let's take a look at the tornado outlook. The better chances of tornadoes look to be in the Siouxland area, northwest Iowa, northeast Nebraska, southeast South Dakota, and southwestern Minnesota around Sioux Falls down to Sioux City and Norfolk, Nebraska. The damaging wind outlook for today and tonight, the typical 15% risk in the slight risk area from southwestern Minnesota, northwestern Iowa, down into Kansas and far western Oklahoma and Texas. The large hail outlook, a little bit of a larger area, same areas as the damaging wind outlook, but a little further to the east across northern Iowa, up to about the Twin Cities and up as far as about Fargo, North Dakota. And here's the severe weather outlook for tomorrow, Sunday. A slight risk of severe weather extends for all of Minnesota, western Wisconsin, the western two-thirds of Iowa, southeast South Dakota, Nebraska, and into Kansas. And the probability outlook looks pretty probable, with a 30% chance of possible severe weather within 25 miles of a point from about St. Cloud in the Twin Cities southwestward to western Kansas, with a hatched area in there. So let's take a look at the parameters. This is the STP, significant tornado parameter, at 7 p.m. this evening. You can see the highest values over the Missouri River Valley and over South Dakota, with numbers at least over 5 to about 8. But Sunday, the values are pretty minimalistic, if not almost nothing. So seeing that enhanced area for Sunday, you have to wonder about that. Here's the supercell potential for 7 p.m. this evening. Some very high values across northern Iowa, across the Missouri River Valley, South Dakota, Minnesota, down into Kansas. And again here Sunday evening at 7 o'clock, the values are pretty minimalistic again. Values of only 5 or 10. So we're really going to have to wonder about the Sunday risk here. And here is the Craven Brooks significant severe outlook. This is at 7 p.m. this evening once again. Some very high values over Iowa, the Missouri River Valley, South Dakota, Nebraska, and down into Kansas. And here on Sunday, values not very high, but a little bit better than the other two parameters we've looked at. Some enhanced values from Minnesota through Iowa down into the plain states. So there could be some severe weather. Let's take a look at some surface-based CAPE. This is at 7 p.m. this evening. CAPE values across the state, at least, will be well over 2,500 joules per kilogram, with some higher values along the Missouri River Valley, upwards of 3 to maybe 4,000 joules. And this is the same that was on the NAM. Here's on the GFS. The GFS is very bullish with CAPE. CAPE values across the state well over 3,000 to upwards of 4,500 joules per kilogram. And here's a WRF model from the University of Illinois, and they're even more bullish. The blue area is CAPE values over 6,000 joules. So, and this is the highest, so could be a lot of joules. And this is on Sunday, and again, the CAPE values, this is on the NAM again. CAPE values of at least 15 to 2,500 in a narrow band across northwestern Iowa into the plain states. GFS is a lot more bullish of CAPE values across the entire state of upwards of 1,500, with the higher Cape values in the eastern part of the state into Wisconsin and the Great Lakes. So pretty widespread ranges here. So let's take a look at all these exciting changes in storm systems with the 0Z GFS Model Run. This is at 1 p.m. this afternoon. We have a big trough digging in across the four corners. Big ridge over the east that's going to bring up the warm and hot sultry weather this weekend. But before that, we start off the weekend with some showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be severe, with southerly winds coming in. And for Sunday, here comes the warmth, here comes the breezy conditions, the sultry, hot, humid weather. Temperatures look to be way into at least into the 90s, some places maybe the mid-90s. The frontal system comes through Sunday afternoon, evening, and into Monday with some showers, thunderstorms, some of which could be severe. Hail, damaging winds could be possible, maybe a tornado or two. Tuesday, that's gone. Temperatures really begin to drop off back into the 70s for highs to near 80. The humidity really drops off, so it'll be pleasant for this time of the year. Wednesday looks to be fairly pleasant. Some rain showers and maybe a thunderstorm across the plain states, but nothing around here. Heading into Thursday, there could be a little bit of rain shower activity Wednesday night across the state, but by Thursday most of that has now moved out of the area. Still relatively warm, well, relatively cool, we should say, with 70s. And even into Friday, that system slowly moves into the Ohio Valley. We're remaining dry with temperatures in the 70s to maybe around 80 or low 80s. And a week from today, as we start off the first weekend of June, we have that trough over the east with the system digging in over New England and the Mid-Atlantic, a northwesterly flow aloft with a ridge over the west. So some cooler conditions coming down. Could be a shower over the Great Lakes and the Northeast, rainy, and a couple of rain showers across the Rocky Mountains and the Pacific Northwest. A couple days later, June 6th, here comes another trough digging into the west again, moving into the California coast and a ridge over the east again. And with this pattern, we could see some showers and thunderstorms again with the Gulf wide open. Hot, humid, sultry weather, 80s for highs most likely, with heat indices likely possibly in the 90s. And at the end of the forecast, June 10th, a bit of a broad trough over the northwest and a huge 588 ridge from northern Mexico up into our neck of the woods, and that just spells hot weather, humid weather, a couple of showers and storms possible. So June looks to be the dog days of summer for sure as we head into that season of the year. Thank you for tuning in to the weather forecast video. I have another one on Sunday.